Hey guys, good morning and good evening. So in this video, I'm going to explain about one of the candidate was attended interview with. So 5.6 years of experience and company name is called AON. It's one of the finance based company and also consulting and service based company in the North America. There are so many distributed companies or branches are located all over the worldwide. Revenue of the company is approximate $15.6 billion. So in that particular interview, what are the questions they asked? I'll explain now. So this vacancy based on the job description, it is a cybersecurity consultant. So in between that AON company to the customers or client, this particular person should be act as a consultant and he has to give the couple of times advices, report generation, and also subject matter expert skills, team leading skills, and so on. That is the expectations from the job. In that job, what are the questions they asked? So let's go and discuss about those questions are explain about roles and responsibilities. So what are roles and responsibilities based on job description? We have to go and we have to explain. It's not based on what we are keeping in our resume. Okay. So that's why job description is very, very important for any vacancy, not only into our cybersecurity industry or even entire overall IT and software industry. So it's better you can give as a job description or your roles and responsibility consultant role instead of the L1 or L2 or L3 level role. Okay. So second entire question what they asked, explain about malware investigation. So we have to take, they did not give the any, they given the choice and options to us. So then you can explain about either endpoint side malware investigation or server side malware investigation. Anything is fine. So next question is how will you prioritize the malware instance? So here based on the risk score and based on the severity and based on the log source action. But based on these three parameters, we cannot conclude that whether it is a false positive and true positive. Just will get some idea and just will get some of the assumptions. Maybe that is a false positive or true positive. So once we are going into the deeper investigation, then only will come to know something got compromised and outbound connections are going and continuously communicating to command and control server. Then only we can decide whether it is a true positive and false positive. But maybe how can you prioritize the incident based on the risk score, based on the severity, based on the priority, and also based on the log source action. Log source action is very, very important. So next one is explain about one of the most critical security incident investigation you worked on. Okay. So in that scenario, candidate whoever is attending the interview explained about end user system is got compromised ransomware. Okay. So that is the question is about. Suddenly interview panel, they asked back, in case server is getting compromised by ransomware, how can you take care of the containment, eradication, mitigation, business impact analysis, and risk assessment? Okay. So we have to explain about server got compromised, and also we have to explain about the end user system also got compromised. So next one is a phishing email investigation. So once the phishing email is received, so in the same question itself, they asked about what is phishing email, types of the phishing email, and also whenever any phishing email is received, how can you take care of the respective instant investigation? So here we have to explain about phishing email and also types of the phishing like spear phishing, unveiling, malicious URL link, malicious malware attachment, social engineering attack, URL link, all those scenarios you have to explain, phishing and smashing also. So then different scenarios. So different scenarios meaning here, we have to explain about domain validation, IP address validation, header analysis, malicious URL link validation, malicious malware attachment validations, even QR code validation also, phishing also. That to false positive and true positive. Okay. Basically, this one itself alone, we can explain more than 1 hour, phishing email investigation. Next one is cyber kill chain process. We have to explain about cyber kill chain process. Next one is what is SQL injection attack? Just we have to provide the definition only. The next one is what is mean by content filtering? Content filtering is equivalent to URL filtering or bright cloud URL filtering or web filtering or application filtering and so on. This is a part of the next generation firewall basically. So next one is how can you create policies in the firewall? So policies in the firewall. So first we have to create security profile and after that we have to go and we have to create the policies based on the trust zone, untrusted zone, DMZ or DMZ zone. All those things we have to explain. So next one is what is DLP? and how can you create DLP policies in the DLP tool, and which DLP tools you worked on. So we have to explain about DLP, data loss prevention, and what is my data exfiltration or data breach or data violation, and also how can you create DLP policies. So first you should know about what is endpoint DLP, network DLP, so website DLP or cloud DLP. Then only we can go and we can create the DLP policies. First you should identify the data classification and also how the data can be leaked. Then only we can go and we can define the policies part. So next question immediately what she asked, or interview panel what they asked, different types of DLPs, and explain about differences between endpoint DLP versus network DLP. So we have to give the definition, and also you have to give the practical example also. Example, email DLP, it is a part of our network DLP. Website DLP, it is a part of our network DLP. Endpoint DLP, it is like a peripheral control or device control. All those DLPs leaking through memory stick or pen drive or external hard disk, all those will fall under the endpoint DLP. So definition we have to provide, and also we have to go to the practical scenario or use case. Then what is meant by data breach or data violation? Next one, it's a part of the DLP itself. Then what is meant by vulnerability lifecycle management process? So here they are expecting about the overall steps. How many pages are there? How many steps are there? So in simple words, we have to say asset discovery or asset identification, then running the scan, and also reporting the vulnerabilities and fixing the vulnerabilities. So this is in a simple 5-step process, part of the vulnerability management process. So next one is what is meant by vulnerability management and what is meant by penetration testing. So they are expecting about only definition only. Next one, how can you integrate firewall logs to SIM tool? Then what is meant by GDPR? General Data Protection Regulation is a part of the GRC compliances. What is meant by ISO 27001? It is also our GRC, governance risk and compliance oriented. And what is the difference between static ports versus dynamic ports? Well-known ports versus dynamic ports. And also, can you give a couple of examples of the well-known ports along with port number? So whatever well-known ports we do have approximate 25 to 30, you can give maybe 3 or 4 examples of the well-known ports. Next one, what is meant by DHCP? And so how DHCP allocate IP address automatically? So that is using the DORA process. Next one is what is meant by incident lifecycle management framework? So then which type of frameworks you are using in your organization? You have to explain about both NIST framework and also you have to explain about ITIL process. And you have to say in my organization I'm following ITIL process, or maybe you can say in my organization we are following NIST framework. So next one is, so what is the timeline to instant attacks in your organization? How much time it will take? What are the different types of timelines you are using? So these timelines, they are asking indirectly service level agreements. So whenever any critical or high or medium or low or informational related security incidents are triggered in between our consulting company to the client or customer, whatever security instance we received, acknowledgement time and also instant investigation time, both we have to explain. So next one is what is the difference between signature based detection mechanism versus heuristic approach? So these things, it will fall under the EDR. Indirectly, they are asking about EDR detection methods like signature based and also machine learning and artificial intelligence for known category and also unknown category of the attacks. Next one is what are the difference between what are the different types of reports you will generate in the IBM QRadar? So you should explain about process oriented reports and also technical oriented reports. Both you have to explain. So next one is what is mean by OS layers and explain what on the practical example. Each and every layer, what is the functionality it will do with your practical example. So take any of the practical example like in your day-to-day life you are using, and each and every layer, how it will go and what it will do exactly, starting with the application layer to till physical layer. Next one is how can you create RCA document, root cause analysis document, and in that root cause analysis document, what all the information you can provide. Then next one is what is CA triad and also explain about CA triad in depth. The next one is what is next generation firewall. Then we have to provide about the different types of features of the next generation firewall and also difference between the UTM versus firewall versus next generation firewall. It's not like a firewall definition. We have to provide the features also. What is the additional feature it will do as compared to our normal firewall or UTM, Unified Threat Management. Next one, what is meant by authenticity, authorization, and accounting. So this is part of CISSP syllabus basically. So maybe you are watching my YouTube shorts. In that one, I already explained about what is AAA. So authentication, authorization, and accounting part. Then what is the difference between IDS and also IPS? Then what is the difference between symmetric cryptography and also asymmetric cryptography? Here we have to provide about the definition, comparison, and also mean the advantages, and also a couple of examples of the symmetric and also a couple of examples of the asymmetric cryptography algorithms. Then what is the difference between Azure Sentinel and IBM QRadar? Because candidate is mentioned both these SIM tools in his resume. That is the reason they asked about this particular question. Then what is the cyber collision process? And explain about SQL injection attack using cyber collision process. So first you should aware of the SQL injection attack, how it will happen, and each and every phase of the cyber collision. Then you have to explain about cyber collision process. Next one is what are the different types of firewalls? Sorry, how can we integrate firewall logs to SIM tool? So that is the next question. So it is a log integration method or log onboarding method. So the next question is, did you read the job description? What is the role we are looking for? Unfortunately, candidate is mentioned as a cybersecurity and also L2 role, but actually speaking, this role is belongs to cybersecurity consultant. That means candidate maybe he did not read the role or job description and he did not understand properly. So that's why it's very important before going to the interview, you can make sure that what they are expecting and also company profile also. So last question is what is static IP drawbacks and how can we mitigate these static IP drawbacks? Nothing but indirectly they're expecting about DHCP advantages. So last question, do you have any questions from our side? That's it, guys. So these are all the questions. Approximate that took it more than 1 hour, like 65 minutes or 1 hour. So these are all the questions. Just you can comment me. Do you feel like this particular interview, whatever candidate is attended, is it a difficult interview or average interview or whether it is easy interview? That's it, guys. Thank you so very much and thanks for watching the video.